Okay, this is for Algebra 2, and this is adding and subtracting rational expressions, day 1. Remember that to be a rational expression, you have an x in the bottom of the fraction. Remember back in elementary when you would have something like 2/3 plus 3/4. In order to add fractions, we would have to find the common denominator. Common denominator for 3 and 4 is 12. So 12 divided by 3 was 4, times 2 was 8. Plus 12 divided by 4 was 3, times 3 was 9. 8 plus 9 was 17 over 12. That's basically what we're doing again. It's just that we're going to throw lots of letters at you too. So you start by simplifying or factoring anything you can. Find a common denominator. Figure out what's missing in each denominator from your common denominator. Multiply that by the numerator. Combine like terms. Simplify again. Cancel if you can. Subtracting is the same, except you've just got to watch signs.
Looking at the first problem, your common denominator is 3. There's nothing different about the first denominator and the common denominator, so you just bring down your x minus 4. There's nothing different about the second denominator compared to the common denominator, so you bring down your plus 5x. It's plus 5x because this was an addition problem. So basically, you're going to keep your common denominator and you're going to combine your like terms. X plus 5x is 6x. Bring your minus 4 over. You need to stop and look at your numerator and see, is there anything you can do to reduce it? Can you pull anything out? Well, 6 and 4 will both divide by 2, so we're going to pull a 2 out, and it leaves you 3x minus 2 over 3. It didn't accomplish anything for us this time because the 2 and the 3 wouldn't cancel, but sometimes it will make it so something else cancels. So always do that step. So your answer is 2 times 3x minus 2 all over 3. For the next one, your common denominator, we have a 4 and a 6. They will both go into 12. You have an x in your first one. You look at the second one, you've already written the x down, so 12x is your common denominator. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. There's an x, but you have an x, so it's all good. 12 divided by 6 is 2. There's an x, but you have an x, it's all good. So you're going to take what you wrote and multiply it by the numerator. So 3 times 5x minus 3 gives you 15x minus 9. Now be careful because this is a subtraction, so it's like saying a negative 2 times 1, so minus 2. Combine your like terms and you're going to get 15x minus 11 all over 12x. Nothing will reduce. This is your answer. If you were going to do an exclude, x cannot be 0. Probably we really won't worry about excludes on adding and subtracting. Looking at the next one, we have x plus 5 and x plus 5, so that is your common denominator. Bring down your 2x plus 3. What you got to be careful with here is it is subtraction, so that means both of these will change to the other sign. So instead of a positive x, it is minus x, and instead of minus 3, it is plus 3. Combine your like terms. 2x minus x is x. 3 plus 3 is plus 6, all over x plus 5. Now remember, your x's will not cancel because it's all or nothing. Think of these as units with parentheses around them. This is your answer. Looking at the numbers on the outside, we have a 3 and a 3. That's going to be in your common denominator. This first one has an x plus 8, so you write that down. The second one has an x plus 8. We've already written it down. You don't write it again. So there's nothing missing. There's nothing different about the denominator and the common denominator. So we bring down our 8. Plus, once again, there's nothing different, so we bring down the 4. 8 plus 4 is 12 over 3 times x plus 8. Now, always check and make sure whether or not you can reduce. In this instance, the 3 and the 12 will reduce, and you end up with a 4 over x plus 8 for your answer. The 4 and the 8 cannot cancel because the x plus 8 is a unit. It's all or nothing. Now, you do have to cancel if at all, or I'm sorry, you do have to reduce or simplify if at all possible on the bottom. In this instance, x squared minus 4 is the difference of squares, and it becomes x minus 2 and x plus 2. This one is the same thing, x minus 2 and x plus 2. As long as your denominators are the same, that will be the common denominator, x minus 2 and x plus 2. Nothing different, so bring down your negative 2x plus 1. Nothing different, but it is subtraction, so change these signs and it becomes plus 3x plus 1. Negative 2x plus 3x is x, plus 1 and plus 1 is plus 2, all over x minus 2 and x plus 2. This is why you need to make sure and factor, because if you will notice, x plus 2 and x plus 2 cancels, and your actual answer is 1 over x minus 2. Last one on this page, your common denominator, there's a 3 and an x over here, so we bring it down. There's an x over here, but we've already written it, so don't write it again. Compare, they're the same, so you bring down your 2. Compare, this one is missing a 3, so it becomes plus 4 times 3 is 12. Combine your like terms, 14 over 3x is your answer. Moving to the back. Looking for a common denominator here. We have a 10 and a 5. Common denominator is 10. An A in the first one and a B in the second one. Basically, anything that's in the first one has to come down when you're looking at letters. And in the second one, if it's not already there, you've got to add it. Comparing the common denominator to the first one, it's missing a B. Comparing the second one, 10 divided by 5 is 2, and it's missing an A. So B times 9 is 9B, plus 4A times 2A is 8A squared. Nothing will reduce. This is your answer. Looking at the next one, we have a 5 and a 3. Common denominator for those would be 15. We have an A squared. You need to write the largest exponent that you ever see. So A squared, B to the third, and B squared. So we're going to write down B to the third. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. A squared, we have an A, we need one more A. B to the third, they're the same. 15 divided by 3 is 5. A squared works. B to the third, B squared, it needs another B. 3A times 2x is 6ax plus 4y times 5b is 20yb. The ones on the top will both divide by 2. Leaves you 3ax plus 10yb all over 15, a squared b to the third. Pulling out the 2 did not actually accomplish anything for us this time, but you should always do it because you never know if it's going to help you cancel until after you've tried it. Looking at the next one, take all of the denominator from the first fraction and write it down. 2a minus 1 and a minus 2. Take the second denominator and see, is there already a 2a minus 1 down there? Yes, there is, so you do not write it again. Compare, the first one is good. I like to just put a 1 up there so I know I've checked it. Compare the second one, and it's missing an a minus 2. Got to think of it as having parentheses around it, and you may as well put them around the numerator here as well. 1 times 1 is 1, plus, you're going to have to distribute a times a times negative 2, negative 1 times a, negative 1 times negative 2. So you get a squared minus 2a minus a plus 2. So that becomes a squared minus 2a and minus a is minus 3a plus 1 plus 2 is 3. All over 2a minus 1, a minus 2. You need to check just in case you can factor the top. You would be finding the factors of 3, 1, and 3. Sums are the same. They're all negative, and they have to equal 3. They don't, okay? So you don't have to factor. and that's just your answer. But you should check just in case. First thing you want to do is reduce if at all possible. So I'm going to pull a 2 out here and have x minus 3. I'm going to pull a 4 out here and have x minus 3. I'm going to take the first denominator and write it down. 2 and x minus 3. Now the bad thing about doing that is when I look at the next denominator, 4 is not the same as 2. You're going to have to look at your 2 and your 4 and go, well, the common denominator for the 2 of those would actually be 4. X minus 3 is already there, so don't write it again. You're going to compare. 4 divided by 2 is 2. X minus 3 is good. You're going to compare, and it's all good, so I'll put a 1. You're distributing the 2 times both parts of that numerator, so it becomes 2x minus 10. You're distributing a negative 1, so that becomes minus x plus 7. Combine your terms. 2x minus x is going to be x. Minus 10 plus 7 is minus 3 over 4 times x minus 3. Remember, this is a unit, and it will cancel, so your final answer is 1 over 4. Remember that you want to simplify or reduce before anything else, if at all possible. That's all for the notes on this lesson. I know this can be pretty confusing, so please be sure and take your time, reduce if you can, find a common denominator, and most importantly, find me and ask questions if you're having problems.